back in college, I was selling purses. Like I had an uncle. Like,
I had an uncle. Purses.
I had an uncle who
out the truck.
Like, no, not out the truck. I had an apartment. It was less.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not knocking your hustle.
Hey.
We've been live. Hello, Brunch Breakers. How are you?
Yes, and actually, not only are we live and direct in these streets, but we got a guest.
We got a guest today. We're going to have a party up in here?
It's a party. It's a
party. It's a party. It's a party.
It's a party. Yeah, I need to drink some of this alkaline vodka.
Yeah.
Mommy, I get my friend all painty.
Yeah, you got me all painty too.
Yeah. I heard
me.
Oh.
I don't see you though. Girl, you look good. We're in the dark.
We are in the darkness. It's the since you're on the other side of the world, it's the daylight where you are, and it is the darkness where
exactly. Yes, Brunch Breakers. We are here in the US of A, but our guest is not.
She hitting up the territory.
No,
yes, we're global. Global.
Okay, what's going on over there, Miss Cat?
The way she just put she got the paint on the little toy, right?
Yeah.
So while she's trying to take the paint off the toy, she's wiping it on her pants. Like,
man.
Well, Brunch Breakers, we would love to introduce to you, because we're just going on and talking. You won't even know who this beautiful
excuse me
is.
You will not dismiss me.
Exactly.
I am a Brunch
Lori Richardson.
I'm here. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm here.
Yeah, and you can hear us, right?
Oh, we were screaming and shouting about "Hey, girl, hey!"
We were screaming at you.
Yeah, and y'all were on the screen like this. You know what? It's the island internet. I blame it on that.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Extra relaxed.
Exactly.
It's in chill mode. How are you today, love bug?
I am good. Good. It is. Yeah, I'm starting my day on this side of the island or side of the world.
And so, where are you at right now?
I am in Guam.
Hey,
currently in Guam. Yes.
Yes. Our lovely brunch breaker, Lori.
What's happening?
Let's be clear. So remember we
Lori.
I'm gonna mute us, and y'all gonna see that old school mama conversation.
Oh. So,
I'm gonna mute
Lori, what's going on over there?
What happened? Okay.
Okay. So, Miss Lori, how are you today? And thank you very much for joining us on this.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Why don't you tell Brunch Breakers a little about yourself?
Yeah, most definitely. I am a military spouse. I am a mother of 2, and I also am, I would say, a serial entrepreneur, but yeah, I pretty much am.
You're juggling a lot.
I do a lot. And but my main thing is I just love to help people start and build businesses.
Yeah.
And that's one of my passions, aside from planning events. That's another passion of mine, but it's evolved into this whole thing of just helping people who want to build businesses or build an extra stream of income. So that's mostly a little bit about me.
The funny thing, one of the first questions I was going to ask you is, and I hardly have any like I said, you are in the brightness, and we're like, we can't see. What are your passions? what are some of your passions? And you kind of answered that already.
Yeah.
I know you from the whole event planning and you worked at hotels before and you did events and everything like that. And I know you always wanted to, because I know one of the times when I first met you, you were saying how you had like a virtual, didn't you do like a virtual assistant type thing?
Yes. And so it was telling our age, but a little bit back then. People,
number, honey. We won't give the date or the year.
Or the year.
But I'm like, everybody and their mama has a virtual assistant right now because 20.
Yes, but you know what? When I got into the game, the thing about it was, the people who are in the 1% of the, of the states, those are the ones who actually do things, and then once it gets out, then it trickles down to everybody else. So I used to work for those 1% as a virtual assistant and help them with small tasks. And the reason that being was because I, of course, was at home. We needed more income and I had to help figure it out. So that's what I did. I started with virtual assisting, and I was helping people make doctor appointments, order food, and have it delivered, and little tasks like that. And then it evolved into learning how they ran their business, and also getting more tasks assigned to me. And then using the knowledge that I already had from working in the event industry and hotel industry, and then tying it all together. So once it became
with those people, those individuals now?
No, am I still working with?
Yeah, because I'm not those relationships with them, kind of, don't you?
Yeah, I'm still not working. I'm not working with them. A lot of them I actually used to work for their assistants. So I was the virtual assistant to their assistant.
Oh,
yes.
My boss asked me to do something. I asked her, oh, she'll get it done. And then they bring it to them like they got it done, like they did it themselves.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. So the virtual assistant, and back then it was still new to a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of people
I didn't know I remember, and I was like, okay. And it didn't click. But like Kat said too, look what we're doing now.
Yes.
Everyone's
yes.
Everyone's
yes.
And it's
everyone. Yes. And because, and like I said, a lot of the big CEOs and entrepreneurs who were already hit to the game, they were of course ahead of what the time is now. And so back then when I was doing it, and people were like you said,
I didn't
what
know
is that? Well, what do you do that?
It didn't click. It didn't click to me. I'm like, virtual, how do you do it? But
yeah.
Wow.
And so now it's become this whole thing where people are understanding and learning and knowing that, hey, you know what, I can work again from a virtual world. And I don't just have to be a person who is, does all these different tasks. I can actually streamline it and have a straight focus. So that's really what I do now with the clients that I have. I actually, of course, since I'm a nomad, what does I want to say? I'm actually helping them, with their social media management, with content creation, also helping them with tasks that I don't need to be on the phone per se, and be able to, call people with time-sensitive information. I'm able to actually help delegate other tasks.
Email and text type thing. That's how you kind of communicate with them.
Yeah, mostly email. I actually do use a couple of other programs, kind of like client management programs, where I put their things in there and they communicate, what they like, what they don't like in that program, and then I go back through and make the changes and then do the work.
That's good. I love it.
So,
I love it.
Yeah.
And then with the event planning part, because are you still doing that now, or this is moved more now just to the virtual?
Yeah. Ever since the move and COVID and all of that.
The hospitality field. I used to work with hospitality some years ago, and I still have contacts with them. Like when you make friends and family, like work family, you always keep in contact. And a lot of they're still out of work. They're still out of work, and not all of the restaurants have opened. Right. Or event or rooms or banquets, they haven't opened. People aren't having weddings like they were having before, or gatherings like they have. Well, they're not supposed to be.
Right. And what the thing about it too is that back then I was like, well, why can't we do meeting planning from a virtual space? Why can't back then? And now it's, again, we're in sign of the times. People are having to plan events, Zoom meetings and calls and all these elaborate budgets that they had already allocated to, you know, these big spaces. They're actually, of course, going to be getting some refunds and having to reorganize and throw, you know, together their event from a virtual space. So for right now, I'm not helping because of, again, COVID and the fact that I'm millions of miles away from most of my other clients, but I can, you know, help them to put together the, I guess you say the foundation for the event and for the gathering and things like that. So those are some of the other little things that I can help with too. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So you are definitely so busy. Are there other ventures that you want to get into? Are you thinking about getting into?
Yeah, you know, I do have other ventures. I do have a podcast.
This is a plug-in. This is a
Hey, shameless.
You doing that? And then?
Yes. The name of the podcast. And so the name of the podcast is Wife Mom Hustle. And it
you do.
Hey. And again, it's geared towards women, and not necessarily specifically women who are, you know, mothers or who are married, but that's of course who I speak to now because of the place that I'm in and the place that I was in when I actually began the journey with Wife Mom Hustle. But it's just pretty much a platform and a community for women to be able to learn more about, of course, building a business, growing a business, using systems, putting things in place.
Income.
Yeah.
Different avenues. That's the whole thing. And I think that's what I'm trying to get into now too, having different avenues of income come in compared to you one job, you do that one job, you get up in the morning and go, you know, or now we're virtual and then that's it. But when you have multiple, and that's what the people who have money, the 1%ers, if you talk 1%ers.
Right.
So, and unless they're really, and even if they're born into it, they still have an eyeglass company, have this, have real estate, have that. It's more than one.
Yes.
You have to keep it the flow of abundance and of the flow to keep going. That you have to have more than one. You have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hustle. Yes, Mom. Hustle.
Yes. Definitely. You know, I had a mentor back in the day before my oldest was born, but she sat down and she told me this story, and she was telling me that, you know, you have to have more than one stream of income. You have to have multiple streams of income, because if one of those incomes falls off, which we're seeing now with a lot of people, you know, during COVID, is that you don't have anything to fall back on.
No. So that was something that always stuck with me. I've always had a side hustle per se. Like back in college, I was selling purses. Like I had an uncle. Like, I had an uncle. Purses? I had an uncle who. Out the truck?
Like, no, not out the truck. I had an apartment. It was less.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not knocking your hustle.
Hey. I didn't have the trench coat on. I wasn't opening up the trench coat walking down the street. Hey. Yeah. So, you know, it's you always have to have something else going on. But as I got older, and as I'm getting older, learning and, you know, not having the stamina and all that, you know, that hustle is like the hustle like I did back then. But I'm learning that you have to create ways to have passive income, which is, of course, making money while you sleep.
Okay, now teach me about that one, because that one I don't know about. I don't know.
Yes.
About passive.
Yeah. Passive income. Yes. Pretty much. Again, it's making money, putting things in place so that it makes money.
Like stocks and stuff?
Stocks.
Okay.
Yes. Stocks, real estate. There's also some other ways you can do it. They're considered passive, but you do have to do a little bit of work up front. So, for example, for you, since you're so glamorous, you could teach people. You could put together like a online course and teach others how to do, you know, basic foundation.
And it's so
apply basic foundation.
I know, like I used to do makeup. I don't do it anymore, but I know a lot of makeup artists that I used to work with or whatever. And I see them because of COVID. They've opened YouTube channels, FaceTime, Facebook, and live Instagram on how to do the smoky eye look, the cat eye, and they get subscribers and stuff, and then they get sponsors and things like that. So yeah, it grows.
Yeah.
So interesting. So that's considered like a passive income.
So it would be considered more of a passive when you say, for example, you have like one masterclass. So you have, you have your people pay for the masterclass up front, and then what you do is you record that masterclass, upload it to YouTube. And then you're getting views and making money from YouTube. That's the passive income. It's because you're not really working anymore. And then also having it so that you record it, and then other people that want to purchase it later, you can just put it on autopilot like that and have it going on autopilot, and you're making money while you sleep.
We're getting all the tidbits and gems today.
Girl, I wasn't getting none of that. I was getting the tears from the toddler.
Aww. How is she doing?
Yeah, she's she's not very good with this sharing mommy business. So
at 3 years old, or any of us, no. Mommy is their mom.
I was like, ma'am, we are not doing this. She said, but I just miss you.
Oh.
Girl, but you don't miss me by throwing paint at me.
She threw the paint at you?
That's not how we miss me.
She threw it at you?
Yeah. That's why I was like, let me turn this video off and have a conversation with this person. Because look here, little lady, like, we are not playing these games. No, why are you throwing paint at me? And she was like, I want a Kaz and Fab brunch break. I was like, ma'am.
Oh, she wants the Kaz and Fab brunch.
You don't want a brunch break if you're throwing things at people. That's not how we communicate. That's what, did y'all talk about? Because sorry. I'm still.
No, we had a whole thing. We went through a lot, honey.
Yeah.
We talked about passions, Miss Lori's passions, how she got into different realms of making money, her little hustles, and then we did sideway and side gig into her podcast. Yeah.
And what is the name of your podcast?
Passive income, which I didn't really think about, making money while you sleep. Like she was saying, real estate and stocks, and like if I would do makeup stuff and have video, you were saying videotape it and then you post it on, and then you get, so it's like.
I am sorry, but but you've been to this, So this is the first time we are taping post quarantine. So I was alone in a hotel. And it was like, oh, we can record whenever and whatever and however.
We have to have a schedule. We have to have a schedule now.
And so it was like, okay, great. And she was like, oh, so we're recording today?
Mommy and me.
Mommy and me, exactly.
Disappearing in these streets. But yeah, you have two awesome small humans. So how do you do this whenever you're like working and like servicing clients or teaching classes, because your tiny humans are probably like, excuse me, I'd like to borrow my mommy.
Yeah, how do you juggle that? How do you juggle that?
Yeah, you know what? It was when they were smaller, it was a challenge. It was a lot of early mornings, working during nap times and late nights. That's how I got.
Time out. What is this nap time you speak of?
I tried to have them on a schedule.
Did they actually take a nap? Did they take a nap? Did they actually do it?
Well, yes and no. As Kaz knows, my oldest didn't like to take naps.
Okay.
But that's when she got her TV time and her computer time. And I said, this is your quiet time. Mommy needs to get work done. And I would set her down in her room, of course, with the door open. But that was the time that she was, to be quiet, and she played by herself. She got into the schedule, I guess, per se. So I kept doing it. The more I did it, the more I got
Consistency.
got easier. Yeah, consistency.
Uh-huh.
So that was how I did. But when they got to school, woo, I was school.
You have the free time to do what you needed to do, and you
I'm
know
like,
what time you're going to get back. So
yes. So that's
Like,
when
so wait, it's Friday where you are. So are they at school right now?
Yes,
like,
they are at school right now. So I do try to get my things done as best as possible. But since they're older now, they know they just jump on the computer or jump on their tablet, and then they're like, okay, mommy's in the meeting. We can't be loud. We gotta be quiet. So
it's different with the toddler, girl.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? I will say now, I do feel that because of everything that's going on with COVID, and so many parents having to work from home, they know the struggle. So they give you, we can give each other grace. If a little human or somebody acts up. So I'm like, you know what? It's funny, but it's awesome now that people are now more understanding of what moms who work from home and who still want to make a living go through.
Yep.
So I know you guys talked about your passions and things. So like, is part of the reason why you like carved out a space for yourself is because you felt like, where am I going? Where is there room for me in the mix of this? Because all these things, like a lot of times when like career, like we were talking earlier about Fab's Muggle job, and there's all these things, and so you may not necessarily be passionate in that arena, or you are passionate because that's who you are as a person. Mm-hmm. But showing up in these spaces and carving out space for you to be yourself, for you to like shine in your own authentic way. Like, so how did you, like, what inspired you to continue to carve out these spaces? Or were you like, those dollars inspire me?
No, you know what? The dollars, yeah.
Dollars will inspire.
Yes, they will. However, in this game and in this role of being an entrepreneur, there's not always dollars, especially in the beginning. So that's where that passion comes from, and your love for what it is that you do and the vision that you have. Yeah. I think having that clear vision and of course, praying about it and allowing God to lead you. And once you allow him to lead you and actually see the vision, I think that's what drives you. I think I'll give you an example. So for me, of course, there's times where I was not making money, and it was, I'm saying a little bit of a strain, but it was a little bit of strain on my relationship and my marriage, and also in the household, because you're stressed. So of course, when mommy's stressed, everybody else in the house is blah blah blah. But I actually had to take a step back and say, you know what, this isn't for me. So I'm going to go back to work. So I went back to work full time. But while working full time, I was still getting people who were interested in what I did and wanted to help me, or want me to help them do the things, that I used to do in my business, because there are, again, so many more people who are seeing the need to, take on their passions, and they can still do both, have a 9-to-5 and work. But long story short, I feel that with COVID, because I went back to work, then COVID hit, and then I was released from my job. I feel like that was God's way of saying, okay, you went to work, you got your things in order, your finances in order, you got what it is that you needed as far as more education and more experience. Now it's time for you to go back and use that for your clients.
We were talking about your passions and investing in yourself. So, and we were also talking about the difficulty, because a lot of times now, especially in the Instagram social media era, it's very easy to see all the output from the hard work. And so people are like, I've done this for 3 whole days and I didn't make $1 million, so I quit.
Yeah.
Because you help other people, small business owners, encourage them, support them, facilitate like getting from this step to the next. Like, how do you encourage them in that, in the waiting season?
Yeah. Encouraging them in the waiting season. That's a lot of words right there. So you know what, a lot of it takes, again, just having that vision and constantly staying grateful for, being grateful for where you are. But then again, of course, praying about it, writing it down. And then I constantly, talking about planting seeds. So again, planting the seeds and harvesting. And then of course you have to wait for them to grow. So getting your foundation in order, because a lot of times, like you said, people are like, oh, I've been at this for 3 days and I haven't made $1 million, but you can't set a whole business foundation up in 3 days.
No.
It's a lot that goes into setting up. You can't build a house in 3 days. So it's
Girl,
a lot
I
that goes
made an
into.
People want
Instagram
instant
page.
gratification. People want
And-
instant gratification for everything. That's why.
And I guess it's probably not appropriate to call it the waiting season, because really it is a working season.
Yeah.
Because all of the work that goes on behind closed doors while
Yes.
you're, like learning what works for you and what doesn't.
Right.
Because it's a lot of trial and error too, because I was reading something, and I've read a lot of things lately just about how, like, to bounce back, how to learn from your mistakes. Like, so if I was deciding I'm going to go into business today, like, what would you tell me about learning how to bounce back or learning how to be flexible as an entrepreneur? Because when you work for a 9 to 5, you go to work, you do your job, they put money in your account. You go to work, do your job, put money in your account. So you decide, I'm going to step out on faith. Would you recommend people stop doing the 9 to 5? Because I noticed you did both.
Yes.
You continued to water those seeds, to nurture that garden, to continue while you were, showing up every day, doing your muggle gig.
I would say you have to look at your situation. I was in a position where, again, I was a stay-at-home mom, and we made that decision. However, as time went on, we were going through some financial struggles. So I said, you know what, I can still try to figure out how to start a business and stay at home. So again, having to make certain sacrifices in certain areas to be able to start and then, go from there. But if you're in a position where you are in a 9 to 5 and you want to start a business or, move on and with your passion, I would recommend staying in that 9 to 5 until you're financially able to stay afloat and your business is actually having some income.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I know, like with Fab, with you, I'm sure that this gives you like an extra bit of energy to do your 9 to 5, like being able to have the outlet, being able to still,
a creative outlet. Yeah, because doing this is wonderful. And it's funny how you say stay into it. Everyone is different in their situations, and I've always had a 9 to 5, but I always was acting on the side or doing something, and I would, if I got a gig, I would try to book it around a vacation, or I'll take a payday off to like do it. And I always hustled that way. So I guess I was a hustling too, and not even realize I was
Hey.
because that was my passion. The passion was the art, being acting and doing plays and stuff like that. And when I quit my 9 to 5. I did it one time because I got a gig. And we could talk about it. Should we say the name? Street Court. I was on Street Court. And it allowed me to leave my 9 to 5. And my mother almost cried. She was like, why are you doing this? I had some money in the bank, not a lot. I didn't prepare. The way because I just figured, I got this gig. I'm going to be on TV now. I'll start making bank. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So finished the 9 to 5, started doing the show. It was a wonderful experience. I don't regret any of it. First contract, I was still non-union. So if we would have gotten to the second season, because this was still like a pilot, if we would have got to the second season, it would have changed. I talked to the lawyers and everything, and I would have gotten union, and things would have been different. Still gave me a good amount of money. I was still able to bank some, pay rents, and it was good. I was in awe. It was beautiful. It ended because that's entertainment business.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we were saying you have to have other incomes. Like I should have been doing that, and I should have been doing voiceovers over here, and I should have been doing something over here, and I should have been doing something over here. So when that ended, I didn't have anything. And I said, okay, well, I'll start auditioning again, and I'll get something, and it didn't happen.
Mm.
And I had to end up going through. I had a whole bunch of odd, weird jobs, and because I didn't save the way I should have saved,
Mm-hmm.
prepare myself the way I should have prepared myself, I had to just go back to 9 to 5. And I think the first 9 to 5 I had, it really didn't pay a lot. It was just like,
I just need to get back.
I
You needed something. Yeah.
Rent and stuff. And then of course, time went on and things got better. So I learned from that experience. So now I know, keep it until I get that real contract with that real money.
Exactly.
Easy and all that. I'm like, okay.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Doing that jump, it's so, oh my God, uplifting. It's
Yes.
like I never thought, like I said, I don't regret anything. It hurt. I was going up and down when the pilot didn't get picked up and everything. Yes, it hurt. But that feeling of independence and doing something that you love doing, it's nothing like it.
Now, Lori, whenever you transitioned this time, it was due to COVID, but do you feel like you were ready to do something different? Do you feel like, yeah,
I feel like I was ready. Honestly, because I have done this in the past, but then I also was still kind of doing some things while I was working full time as well. I actually had like I think I was selling things on eBay and Poshmark, so doing retail arbitrage. So
you did the Poshmark. How did that work? Is that good?
Yeah. Yes, you know what? It is good, and you can make. There's some women who are making a living out of that, and who've actually made so much that they've turned their online boutique into a physical store.
Wow!
Because of the fact that, yeah. So again, you go into it with a plan. You have a plan. You have your finances in order, and you set your foundation, and then you grow from there. So I was actually doing on the side. It's like, oh, maybe I can, try to do this, and I was actually making decent money to help me pay back my student loans. So that's good. Yeah. And then again, when COVID took a turn, more people were online. Then all of a sudden I started getting way more sales. So it was awesome.
But if you hadn't stepped out and said, I'm going to diversify, I'm going to make sure that I don't have to rely on this space to survive. Mm-hmm. And so that's what, both of you both said a few times about being prepared.
Yes.
And so whenever you're mentoring business owners about what it takes to be prepared, do you draw from how you got there? Are there books you're reading? Are there things you're doing? Or are you just this is what I learned from my experience?
Yeah. Honestly, all of it. What I've learned from my experience is some of the free courses I've taken, the paid courses I've taken.
And you offer courses as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. I offer private coaching and courses. So I'm actually building a course that's pretty much like a 30-day business building challenge. So it's a course to help people set that foundation and have that tone. So, filing your paperwork, your proper paperwork that you need, building your website up, putting in, things in place so that your business can essentially kind of run while you sleep a little bit. So
and that information, where would somebody get that information to take one of your courses? Is that on your Wife Hustle that?
Yes, it's on wifemomhustle.com.
Okay.
Yes, wifemomhustle.com. Okay. And then again, if you want to work with me one-on-one, then that's another side of the business that I have.